This is the best of VOCM Open Line with Brian Callahan.
We have callers in the queue. We're going right to them. And we're going to go right to it now. Line number one, let's welcome to the program the CEO of the Labrador North Chamber of Commerce, Julianne Griffin. You're on the air.
Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Long time no talk.
Yes, less than 24 hours, I believe.
Yes, so we spoke yesterday, of course, when at the time, the Expo Labrador was still on the go, 30 years going, a sold-out show and all. And now, has the final decision been made to cancel that?
Yes. So yesterday, of course, was a very challenging day with, a lot of moving parts, and we were trying to sort of understand the broader impact on the event and our delegates. So, we did decide to cancel Expo, which was an extremely difficult decision, but ultimately we believe it was the right one under the circumstances.
So I guess the question would be what really transpired or happened to precipitate this decision from the time we spoke yesterday morning until yesterday afternoon when the decision was made?
Right. So the Chamber, as I mentioned yesterday, we're not directly involved in the matters between the Labrador Innu and the province. However, it was our understanding that Expo was seen as an opportunity for the Innu to engage with the Premier. It was also our understanding there would be an opportunity for discussions outside of the venue following his remarks yesterday at the luncheon, as there was a group of Innu and Chief Eugene Hart waiting outside to speak with him. We were, of course, disappointed that did not happen, as it appears then the situation quickly escalated. So unfortunately, Expo then became the focal point of the protests. The protesters, as did not get an opportunity to speak to the Premier, then moved to the Expo in the arena for the remainder, where we were hosting the remainder of the event. So we became the focal point of the protests, and then we made the very difficult but responsible decision to cancel the event. I met with Chief Eugene Hart yesterday afternoon as well. We had a very open and respectful conversation. And of course, I won't speak for the Innu or on behalf of the Labrador Innu, but my sense is that the issue it has extended far beyond the exhibit itself, which was the primary matter before them, I guess, for discussion. And it really speaks to the need for continued engagement and trust. And, the discussion here today and even yesterday, this has created uncertainty. And we hope that those discussions will resume as soon as possible between the government and the Labrador Innu. So
this would be more of a move in solidarity with the Innu and the Innu Development Limited Partnership, as opposed to just, wanting to avoid the spectacle of these protests that might disrupt the entire event for the next couple of days? Well, there are a lot of factors that certainly went into the decision. I think when we, understood the situation, again, we're not directly involved, so I can't speak to discussions that were had over the last couple of days. But after speaking to the Innu and our partners in our organizing committee, we made the decision to cancel. We believe it was in the best interest of everybody here, and right now we're focused on supporting, our delegates on the ground. We're working swiftly to respond to inquiries. You can, of course, imagine how many phone calls and emails, and so we're trying to get information out as soon as possible around flights and logistics, and we're helping people, break down their booths at the arena today, ship them back, doing everything we can to support our delegates. So that's our primary focus, obviously, for the next day or two, and then, we really encourage everyone to get back to the table for more engagement and conversation. We think things could have been different this week. I think the situation could have been de-escalated. And, we're a Chamber of Commerce. We've been around for more than 60 years, and we still believe much can be accomplished with engagement and communication. But right now our focus is on our Expo suppliers, the small business community that have been impacted, and, of course, our delegates this week, just trying to support them. So the administrative and the logistical nightmare of this, of having to, as you said, contact everybody and break everything down and just move it all out, that's one thing. But just the loss of this particular expo and the importance of it. And you mentioned there that things could have been done differently. How would you have liked to have seen them done differently to avoid this last-minute decision, last-minute whole snafu? Well, I believe, as I mentioned, there was an understanding the government would speak to the Innu that were outside of our venue, and that, of course, did not happen.
So that was disappointing from our perspective, because we believe that the situation could have been de-escalated. We're not sure if the protests would have continued as it relates to Expo, but I think it was seen as it became a broader conversation around reconciliation and economic development as it relates to Labrador and Indigenous engagement. And we understand, Expo is an economic development event, so I think we got pulled into things pretty quickly. And as you mentioned, the Chamber, we're a nonprofit. We're a small Chamber of Commerce. Mm-hmm. We've been around for over 60 years. We've been hosting. This would have marked the 30th anniversary of Expo. So this really represents, months of planning and preparation. Our staff, our organizing committee, speakers have prepared for their presentations. Delegates who've traveled as far away as Vancouver, our sponsors and our partners, they invest a tremendous amount of time and effort into making the event a success. So we're still trying to really understand the financial impact this will cause. We know it will be significant, but as I mentioned, our priority now is supporting delegates and partners with travel arrangements and other logistics resulting from the cancellation. Yeah,
because once, I guess, the Chamber makes that decision as opposed to somebody else making it for you, you're kind of on the hook for some of this. Are you not? Will you have to reimburse for flights and hotels, and are people already looking for that?
We're still working through those details, but what I will say is we're supporting in any way we can. We've received a lot of emails around, inquiries around reimbursements and so on. So obviously we're going to support everyone as much as we possibly can. So that's the focus right now. How disappointing is it that, as you said, this could have been done differently if the Premier had just faced the people, Eugene Hart and others who were waiting outside? Everyone knew that. And instead, it appears and reportedly either slipped out a side or back door to avoid it. Yeah, we're quite disappointed in the outcome and the impact on Expo. And as I mentioned, we can only hope that those discussions will resume as soon as possible and they can come to a resolution. Julianne, I do appreciate you getting right back out in front of this morning, unlike some entities out there who we haven't heard from, on such a serious situation here. Any plan in the offing? So is this just done for this year and it's next year? Onward and upward, or is there a chance that there could be something else this year, like just a postponement as opposed to an all-out cancellation? I would say we haven't made any decisions on future events yet, and as I mentioned, we're just focused on supporting the Expo delegates that are here over the next couple of days. I will say we've received a just tremendous amount of support for our decision. I think there is an understanding of why the decision was made. So we just want to thank everyone for being so supportive and so kind. And as I mentioned, we're here at the arena. We're just trying to help as much as we possibly can to ensure everyone gets home safely. Julianne Griffin, the CEO, again, of the Labrador North Chamber of Commerce. I do appreciate your time. I know what a mess this must be, to now have to shift all these gears and reverse course as opposed to going onward and upward. Very unfortunate circumstances. Thank you for your time and good luck with everything. Thank you very much.
This is the best of VOCM Open Line.
Well, let's go to line number 3. And Alison Snow, the chair of the Food Producers Forum and with the Provincial Food Network Cooperative, you're on the air.
Hello.
Good morning, Alison.
Good morning. How are you today?
Really well. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Yes. Me. What's on your mind other than the importance and essentialness of food?
Yes. So a lot of your callers kind of hit upon many of the topics that I'm going to address here now. Mm-hmm. Just let me find my notes.
No worries at all. Important topic, especially in light of the issues with Marine Atlantic and others. Food security and. The essentialness of it. Good to go.
Exactly.
Sure.
So I'm chair of an organization called Food Producers Forum, and our mandate is to try to fix the broken food supply system in Newfoundland and Labrador. And we have created a co-op called the Provincial Food Network Co-op, and our mission with that is to try to connect people, communities, municipalities, seniors, anybody who's interested in eating.
As well as Indigenous, right? It's a big part of this, communities and farmers.
Absolutely. The North is definitely it's part of a project we had called the Provincial Food Network. Mm-hmm. We connected 14 sites across Newfoundland and Labrador, and over 2 years we raised funds to help communities in Newfoundland and Labrador get either new farm equipment or training or whatever it was they needed that we could help them obtain.
Sure.
And out of that, the 14 communities decided to form a co-op, and that's being launched this week at St. David's Church on Elizabeth Avenue from 7 to 9. And so I'll just tell you a little bit about the goals of the co-op. Essentially, like I said, everything people have been talking about there today. We want to get strength in numbers to advocate for better food policies. I hear the lady talking about seniors. They're definitely an underrepresented group in our province, even though they're probably the largest group. Food education, we want to enable more direct connection to local food. We've started now, we have the 2 food hubs, which is great, but we want to encourage and help people spread that right across the island and up into Labrador. And then the other main reason to form a co-op, of course, is to share. So we want especially seniors with the knowledge to share their experience with farming, growing, gathering, foraging, preserving, all those old skills that are coming back again and the new generations are excited about. So we want to create a website where people can log on and talk to an expert or even share tools and other resources.
Yes, absolutely going down that road. You know, when I saw your name there and the topic and everything else, one of the first things that popped into my mind was the provincial government saying recently, and this was in response to federal NDP leader Avi Lewis talking openly in the concept of publicly owned, run grocery stores. Okay. I'm just wondering how that struck you, that the fact that, Finance Minister Craig Pardy had said the government is open to the concept of it. I don't know what it would mean. It's all about affordability, right? And trying to put some reining in of the prices, of course, that were getting out of control. But it's all hand in hand with your project as well, would it not be?
Absolutely. I didn't hear that particular story you're talking about, but yeah, people, have this misconception, A, that you can't grow food here, B, that it's too expensive, and, C, where would I even get it? So this is part of our whole mandate. We're going to be rolling out a project across the island where we're going to be doing various interviews, video clips that hopefully will be aired on media such as yours. And
we'd be more than happy, absolutely.
And the price, 2 ways to look at it, I guess. When we are able to grow more food here and import less, the price will go down because we're not paying for the distribution coming from the mainland. And the other key component is that the nutrition of locally grown food is far, far better than anything that could be shipped in, is on a truck for 5 or 6 days. Right.
Yeah, and you add in the uncertainty of that transportation, as we're seeing right now with Marine Atlantic, and talk of reducing the amount of trips that they do make. As it is now, it's bad enough, and it's already flat out. But yeah, sorry. So you mentioned later on this week, just to wrap up, you were opening. Just remind me again what's being opened at the end of this week. I was looking at the other notes on it.
So it's called the Provincial Food Network Co-op.
Right.
And we're launching at St. David's Church on Elizabeth Avenue this Thursday, the 25th, so tomorrow night,
right,
from 7 to 9. And everyone is welcome to come and join us. We're going to have an information session followed by an annual general meeting where we will elect members of the board. So if this is something that people are, passionate about, want to get involved in, want to know more about, or maybe even join us to help form this co-op, all are welcome.
Mm-hmm. Sounds great. I think attendance at these sorts of events is going to increase exponentially as we move along here. The climate shift is real. So if you thought it was too cold to grow here before, that's changing. And every scientist on the earth will tell you that as the hemispheric changes occur. And the South, the South of North America, the southern states of the United States will be largely uninhabitable, they predict, within 100 years as far as heat and water goes, or coastal flooding and all that sort of thing. And it's just flipping. Mm-hmm. And our climate, you can see it periodically changing. So it's not going to get worse for growing food. It's only going to get better.
Well, we also, as the Food Producers Forum, we have a project where we're helping communities build what's called an earth shelter greenhouse. So that's a concrete-based structure that's in the ground and can be used for growing year-round based on an underground heat system. And so that's not going to blow away in a windstorm. And we're building one in Chapel Arm right now and one in Glen Burnie, and we have 3 or 4 already across the province. So climate change is real. It's not going away. So the more resilient you can make your food growing structures, the better. And connecting with a group like ours is just, we're in a food emergency. I think we all realize that.
Agreed.
And if we don't do something soon, within 2 days, the grocery shelves could be empty. So we need to start relying on ourselves again.
Yeah, loud and clear. No question at all. Look, Alison, I really appreciate this. Good luck tomorrow night at St. David's here in St. John's, St. David's Church. 7 o'clock, do you say?
7 to 9, yeah. We'd love to see you there as well.
Well, if I can squeeze that in, I've got, oh my God, I can't even talk about what I've got on the go this week. But yeah, look, Alison, I really appreciate this chair, of course, of the Food Producers Forum and heading up these important efforts. I really appreciate the call for the Provincial Food Network Co-op. It's going to be great. Thank you very much for the call. And good luck.
Thank you so much. Bye now.
This is the best of VOCM Open Line with Brian Callahan.
Let's go to line number 2. And Barbara, you're on the air.
Good morning, Mr. Callan.
Good morning.
I want to tell you that I've been listening to so much complaints about long waiting lists at the hospitals. I witnessed last night at the Clarendville George Cross Hospital. And as I sat there on my wheelchair from 6 o'clock to 10:30, I was very, very much worn out. But I want to give a thank you, a very, very sincere thank you to the staff of the hospital last night. I counted to 25 people where I was sitting, and there was more than that coming in and out the whole time. And also, ambulance, if one went out, another one came in. I never witnessed the like in my life before. I am 90 years old. Now, I want to thank the nurses, the doctors, the whole staff of the hospital. There's no complaints about that hospital as far as I'm concerned. The doctors and staff are doing their duty the best they can, but I don't know how they can handle it. I'm calling on the government now and asking the government to soon get health care straightened up a bit better than it is, because I believe it's the government's fault, not the hospitals. Anyway, I want to say thank you again to the hospital staff.
Barbara, you know what? It's considerate people like yourself, despite what you had to go through last night and sitting there for 4.5 hours, as you say, worn out, as you say, to the first thought this morning, I'm sure, first thought on your mind, I'll bet you when you woke up this morning was to make this call and to thank those people. And that's the goodness. I can tell you, you put some smiles on faces and warm hearts and a skip in the step of those staff there at that hospital today. I guarantee it. I know firsthand, people have come up to me and told me how just a simple call to open line that thanks the people despite everything that's going on in the healthcare system, and we can get into that, of course, your callers. But look, your kind of call, I mean, that's the goodness of your 90-year-old heart there, I'm telling you, and they appreciate every word you just said. I guarantee it.
I would have another word I need to say.
Please do.
I didn't sleep last night. I stayed awake. I lay on the top of my bed, and I stayed awake, and I looked at the hospital, and I looked at the nurses, so gentle, so mild, with a smile on their face, if they can smile. I don't know how they can. Anyway, again, I say thank you, and I thank you for your words. Now I want to go to the seniors.
Sure.
I am a senior, 90-year-old senior. I started everything in Arnold's Cove for seniors, and did my very best. Now I'm calling on the government again. It's time. I know Premier Wakeham is doing his best, and I think we are entitled to an increase this month. I'm not sure of that, but I think so. Anyway, I'm calling on the government to do more for seniors. In my case, I'm doing fairly well. I can manage. Not great, but I'm doing it. And there are seniors below my income who are not knowing what to put on the table for the next lunch. I talk to a lot of them. Anyway, it's time for us seniors to stand up and speak out. And I'm asking the seniors from Newfoundland and Labrador to back me in what I'm saying today, and let's form some kind of a protest and get on the steps of Confederation Building as soon as we can. So I'm asking you, I will leave my address, my phone number, you have that there, and I'll leave my mailing address as well.
And Barbara, just so you know, I just didn't want to interrupt you, but you know, seniors are getting a 20% increase in the Newfoundland Labrador seniors benefit. That was announced in the 2026 budget. So
yes, I know that.
Yeah,
yes.
So that's, I think, the increase you were talking about.
Premier Wakeham for getting that going, and I'm sure he'll do more. But the health issue is more important to me than anything else, because there's people sick. I saw people last night having to go out and get cold water and put on their foreheads. They were in such pain. So I left. I didn't see the doctor. I had x-rays. I didn't see the doctor. I'm back to the health issue now. And I didn't see the doctor, but I decided I'm going home and let somebody else get in my place. I'll find out something later today. Now, there's one other issue that's bothered me for a number of years, and that is home care. I had a home care worker for 2 years, 23 and 24, and I could never have better. She was good. She was excellent. She was a housemaker as well. She did everything for me. I thank her for that. Now I don't. She resigned in 25, in March 25, and I haven't had anybody since. I'm crippled. I can't walk alone. I got to use a walker all the time, and I can't very well do that. I'm here in an apartment in Arnold's Cove. Could never be better. The best apartment I could ever find in my life. And I am concerned because they say there's no home care workers. That program was started in 1992, if I'm correct. And therefore, I think there should be somebody somewhere. I don't know what the reason is. Anyway, I want to see home care. So that's another one for Premier Wakeham to take on his list. And I'm sure he's going to do that, but we need it done now, soon.
Yeah, there is certainly the provincial home support program, and you can have like agency care, you can have self-managed, and you can also, of course, that option of having a paid family caregiver is always a very attractive option for a lot of people. That way you have someone familiar in your home. I'm sorry, Barbara, go right ahead.
You're not allowed to have a family.
Well, you can hire a family member, excluding a spouse, apparently, to provide care. Now, that's...
Your mother?
As far as I know, it can be a family member.
Well, a lady next door to me, she was going to have home care, but her daughter decided to help her because they couldn't get home care because she wouldn't get paid.
Well, there is a family caregiver, paid system that you can go through. Now, I mean, every situation, everybody, you have to qualify. There has to be a financial and needs assessment. That's only regular.
Yes, I know that.
Through any support programs.
All about that. that.
Yeah, so everybody's in a different boat, of course. But, again, there are three options there. The biggest problem, of course, is staffing and being able to get home care workers. And, of course, we know the salaries and the pay and the benefits and the disparity between public and personal and on and on and on it goes. So there are gaps, there's no question, and there are shortages. So not everybody is in...
I know about the home care because of the 2 years. But
Yes,
now
would.
I'm left... I can't get across the house hardly. I can't touch the stove.
So you're living alone in your apartment?
I'm living in the Golden Years Manor apartment. I built this building. I didn't do the carpentry work, but I got this for Arnold's Cove and also Hilltop Manor, which is a personal care home.
You may not have done the carpentry, but I bet you could have pulled it off. Barbara, look, I appreciate the call, and again, all of the healthcare workers out there, I know appreciate it as well. You got a lot of topics in this morning, so you're a great caller. I'd love to have you back.
Yes, I called a few times before.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'm going to be calling again because I'm not satisfied the way I'm treated here in this community. I'm just not satisfied.
It's hard to be satisfied these days with all the needs and wants and desires, that we deserve or need or that are limited by the government's resources and benefits and all that sort of thing. It's not perfect, but it's the best we got. Barbara, I appreciate your call. I really do, and I hope you're well. 90 strong. You sound great. Thank you for the call.
Okay, thank you very much.
This is the best of VOCM Open Line.
Let's go to line number 1. And Verna, you're on the air.
Good morning, Brian.
Good morning. How are you?
Pretty good.
Excellent.
I'm actually calling in regards to the department, not directly just one service for transportation and infrastructure.
Mm-hmm.
I was watching on the news how it's affecting now the highways.
Mm-hmm.
Any other time, it's in regards to the ferries. They don't answer. They don't have no accountability. They do have an app that is called the 511 app that tells you what roads are closed, why they're closed, what maintenance taking place, the ferries, if they update it. And the sad part is, this weekend, the other people of Newfoundland and Labrador got affected by it, not just Bell Island. Bell Island, when we go down here, people are saying, well, if they don't like it, why don't they move off the island? Well, guess what? It's not us complaining for nothing. It's a failed system because of the management they had. Don't blame it on the party that's in now. Blame it on the parties that have been in previously, the bureaucrats that have been in previously that are still there. Nothing is changing. They keep doing the same old, same old. And the only ones they're affecting is the people. And it's like they have no accountability. They don't have to answer. They don't have to communicate to the people who elected them in there.
It does.
And the sad part... And the people that were on the highways, I really felt for them. Like they're saying, 3 hours in the high heat, dogs in there with no water, kids in there hungry. Welcome to our world. Now people really, and I hope the next time it does happen to Bell Island, everybody backs everybody and comes to accountability of the departments of the government who are in there getting paid to do a job that they're failing at. In regards to the party that was in previously, John Hogan getting on there. Oh, well, they should have been communicated. They go, what did John Hogan do for us? We were a liberal party here in Newfoundland and Labrador. And John Hogan never, ever came to Bell Island with our issues and our problems. And they were there when he was there. And Fred was here. Fred is quite aware of how that system is failing, the department's failing. Get together, not as parties, as the people for the people. Parties for the people.
Speaking my language, Verna, it's a little rich to hear government after government. I don't care. I'm not going to say Liberal. I'm not going to say Tory. I can't say NDP because they've never held the power. But it's a little rich for each government, especially when it comes to the Bell Island ferry service. to get on and criticize a previous government look, come on, people. Right?
Mr. Hogan got on there and said, we need accountability. We need communication. We need updates. Okay, they put a 511 system in. Why did they put that 511 system in? Because they didn't want to talk to the people, didn't want to communicate with the people. Now we have press 1 and it gives you this, or go into 511 and it tells you what's going on in Bell Island. It tells you what's going on in Fogo. It tells you what's going on whether there's a plow there, because they don't want to deal with the people. Who got them in them jobs? The people. Mm-hmm. But like I say, they're getting away with it from party to party to party. And the sad part is the bureaucrats that are in there that are appointed, and they keep doing what they always did and getting away with it. And then when them bureaucrats leave, the ones that they trained are moving up the rank. And the parties that come in here, do they make changes? No. The only thing that changed there was Mr. Pettin went in there. All the ones below Mr. Pettin were there previously in the Liberal department. And if Mr. Pettin wants to argue with me and come up with the solutions and the answers to what I'm saying, please come on here.
Yep.
Because the time is now to answer to the people, and the people that were trapped on the highways. Well, you weren't trapped the way Bell Islands are, because once the road, our road, which I will call our ferry, which is a road no different than yours, when you close it down, they have the right to do it. No, they don't. Any more than they had the right to delay you without notification.
So I guess the summary is, now you know how we feel.
That's right. And like I said, not that I'm pointing fingers, but I'm kind of thinking, welcome to our world. Yep. Stop saying, if you don't like it, move from Bell Island. Look, my taxes go to pay your highways too.
Yep. Vernon, look, I got to get off to the next caller, but loud and clear, you call out for the Minister Pettin. I echo that sentiment.
And Mr. Hogan.
And Mr. Hogan and whoever else.
Get on the line and say, what did he do while he was there? And tell it like it is. How many times did he come over to Bell Island to talk to the people and resolve the issues? How much did he back Mr. Fred Hutton when he was there with the transportation? How much did Mr. Fury back Fred Hutton when he had ideas and changes that didn't take place? Why? Because the party didn't want it. And I thank you.
This is the best of VOCM Open Line.
Go to line number 5, and Sean Kennedy, the president and founder of First Line Vitality Incorporated. You're on the air.
Hello, Brian. How you doing?
Great, Sean. Look, I got to be honest. You had me at exercise is medicine for depression. That was it. I was hooked, and I believe that 1,000%. First of all, tell me what First Line Vitality does and this great partnership you have with the Janeway Child Psychiatry Department.
Yes, hopefully it's a bit of a change in energy here.
Oh, yeah.
I was listening in on the last couple calls.
Yeah.
And congratulations on the role, Brian.
I appreciate it. Thanks a lot. It's still getting the feet wet. It's wild. You don't have really time to think. So there you go. I hope I don't mess up too much with you.
That's the fun of it.
Yeah. Okay. We'll call it fun. It's also exercise for the brain.
Yes. There you go.
So
good segue.
So the Uplift Lab, what's it all about?
The Uplift, it all started with First Line Vitality and the premise that exercise can be prescribed as a treatment for depression. It's more so, generally we all sort of understand that there's a link between our mental health and physical activity. So the more active we are, generally, the better we should feel. But it's well beyond that. It's part of accepted science. It's part of the CANMAT document, which is the Canadian Network for Mood and Anxiety Treatments, and it's a first-line treatment for mild to moderate depression. So when your family doctor or your primary care provider is talking to you about mild to moderate depression, it's actually there to come before therapy and pharmacological solutions. But up until this thought or this process, really all your primary care provider could do was encourage it, or encourage you to exercise more, run, hike, whatever the case is. So we had to create the mechanism that provided the pathway to make it part of a care plan. So we created that program. It's an 8-week program, twice a week, one-on-one with a trainer, and it's completely free for the patient. And the idea is that the trainer meets you where you are and pushes you, and therefore becomes part of the process for getting to the other side.
Is this kind of a proactive approach, or is it, you're identifying already some issues at some youth, say, and this really targets, say, 14 to 18, is that right, roughly?
That's right, Brian. And this program came up because the need is everywhere.
Whoa, it is ever.
Depression. Yeah, I mean it's really intense. It's all ages. So and the partnership with the Janeway Psychiatry Department is a recognition that it's a really big need as well in our youth. So it's reactive. It's a treatment, and the idea is that on the other side of it, then you can start to, change the conversation and make it proactive. The barriers to getting out and doing something like exercise when you're deep into it, and I mean, all of us, we have experiences. I've dealt with depression for quite some time now. We all sort of have an understanding of what that might be like, and it is very difficult to get over that hump. So the idea, if we can get through those 8 weeks consistently, that we can actually turn that into a much healthier practice. Yeah,
it's a nip in the bud sort of situation as early as you can, I mean, there's a natural, depression, there is a natural level of it that some clinologists will point to that, it occurs naturally, disappointments, the pressures that kids are under, teenagers, social media, all the rest of it. The trick is not letting it devolve into something that could be, as you saw, like a more acute and just to go down that a deeper and more depressive line of thinking and getting it at this point. So and it's so important to distinguish between what's natural disappointment and sadness as opposed to depression that you can't think your way out of. So my thought is here, if I'm a parent and I have a child in that area and I'm really having trouble getting through to them, and I'm concerned that all of a sudden they're really despondent, they're withdrawn, they're quiet, and your heart starts, getting, and your mind starts saying they're not right, what do I do? How do you get a referral to something like this?
Well, I mean, it for that reason we operate on referrals because we need the patients and the participants to have their mental health relationship with their care providers. So if you're a youth and you can connect with the Department of Psychiatry at the Janeway, that is the best place to learn more about possible treatments. And they're the ones who can guide you. They're the professionals when it comes to mental health treatment, especially for youth. So they'll help you determine, is this the right program for you? Is it a combination of this plus therapy or whatever the case might be? But that decision is on the mental health professionals, the clinicians, the primary care providers. And we're here when they make the referral to help make it accessible.
So is this underway now, and do you already have, say, youth enrolled?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Our target on the first go-around is to help 50 youth patients over the course of about a year. And we have more than 10 referred. And last conversation, we might be at 5. We're 4 active for sure right now in the program.
And how is staffing and all that sort of thing? Because it strikes me that this could be, there could be a wait list like everything else.
Yeah, honestly, Brian, we have a wait list on the adult side. The goal here, one of the most important barriers to overcome is the cost of this type of activity. So our objective is to make sure that it is absolutely free. And on the adult side, we just started efforts to fundraise so that we can start to work through the wait list.
Oh.
So, it's the more we talk about it, the more people that learn about it, the more folks reach out to us to figure out what options are. And in fact, one of our biggest challenges now, I say challenge, perhaps I should say opportunity, honestly, because This is based on its position in CanMat. It's accepted by science as a treatment. This is accessible beyond St. John's. This is a treatment that can be in rural communities if there's a gym and professional trainers. This is something that can be scaled all across the province and provide another level or a different option for treatment for youth or adults. And that's one of the things that we're working on now with a couple of patients that we've been talking to.
Well, Sean, you mentioned that when people start discussing this, and the more they learn about it, the more the influx of inquiries and requests for space. So I expect that's going to blow up today after this conversation, which is good. Which is good, and of course, a little bit concerning as well. The amount of people who feel the need for the need. Sean, look, I appreciate it. I wish we had more time, but listen, let's renew. Let's touch base again on this subject real soon. Let me know how the program is going.
Listen, I can't thank you enough.
This is the best of VOCM Open Line.
Right off to Chesley on line number 6. Chesley, you're on the air.
How you doing?
How are you doing?
Not too bad.
Good.
Well, my right name is Chesley Kenneth Jenkins, and I goes by Kenny here in Ballon.
Okay. Kenny, go for it.
I was down to the hospital. Oh my God. I go down there almost every day for the past 20 years.
Every day for 20 years, going to the hospital?
Yep.
How long of a trip is that? You're on Bell Island, are you?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's only I take me walker with me.
So why do you need to go to the hospital every single day for 20 years? That seems a little bit extreme.
I'm trying to get back my painkillers.
And do you get them when you go?
No, they keep saying no. I've been taking these pills for almost 3 years, and had to fight to get my Valium back, and I got all that back through a psychiatrist, a major Pat, and now I'm trying to get my Percocets back. I was on them for 20 years. I didn't abuse them or none, but the pain I got today, me legs, me back, I got a neurofibrosis. That's a medical problem.
Yeah.
And I'm having a couple operations. I had one done there a year ago on my right side. I got 47 staples in my side.
When did you have them put in?
That was last year.
Okay, so you've been dealing with that. Is it healing okay?
Oh, it's all healed up.
Okay, you looked after that. So look, when you go to the hospital, and you said, you don't abuse anyone down there, which is good, because again, as we know, they're the front line, and they have to deal with everything that comes at them, and there's a lot. And they do their best. They're in that job for that reason. But, when you go there, why do they deny you your prescription? And if so, what do they say is the reason?
I've seen the one doctor that prescribed them to me.
Right.
Right, but when I went and see her, right, to get back my pills, no.
No, why?
She never gave no reason, right? She said, I can give you these pills. I said, I don't want them. I want back my Percocets.
Well, now, of course, wanting one and, only being allowed or being prescribed another are two completely different things. There's a lot of things we want, but the professionals, such as the doctor who prescribed, and any workup or any kind of diagnosis and the record they have on you, they can only prescribe what they feel is medically necessary. I mean, I know there's things that you might want, but can you understand that they have to make a decision based on what information they have?
Yeah, but
as tough as it may be. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, she knows. I got the neurofibrosis. I got 47 tumors on my body now.
How many tumors?
47.
You've got 47 tumors.
Yeah.
Throughout your body.
And from my head to right down to my toes. And I can barely walk, so my brother sent me down a walker, right, that
right.
I can walk so far. If I'm tired, I can sit down.
Kenny, listen, I don't know. Hopefully, 20 years is a lot of time to go to one facility every day. It may not be, as you said, not abusing anybody down there, but that's almost awkwardly frequent, for some people to wonder why you're coming every day. I mean, I guess, it's a tough spot. If you're being prescribed, they know you, they know your condition, as you said, the fibrosis, they know, the doctor knows, and they're, what can we do? I mean, if they know your condition and that's what they decide is the best prescription for you, as tough as it may be for you, what do? You can only go by what's medically deemed appropriate for your condition. Don't you agree, maybe?
No.
Easy for me to say, I suppose.
No. I was prescribed these pills by two doctors.
How long ago?
Doctor? Oh, geez. Oh, my God. 30 years ago?
Yeah, because your condition will certainly change over time. Chesley, Kenny, sorry. I know your formal name is Chesley. I got to get off to the next break, but buddy, keep me posted on whether or not you're able to... I don't know what to keep you posted on. It's a tough spot. You can only go really with what the prescription says. I just wish you nothing but the best. But I hope it's taken some of the relief of the pain, and I hope it's doing something for your tumors. I can't imagine.
Yeah. All right, thank you.
It's a rough spot. Good luck. Take care.
All right.
All right, buddy.
Bye.
This is the best of VOCM Open Line with Brian Callahan.
Let's go right to line number 8, and welcome to the program. Jill Zant with the MATE ROV World Championships that are happening in St. John's, Newfoundland, Canada, starting tomorrow and running for 2 days. Of course, this is a world competition, bringing together student innovators to showcase skills, engineering, technology, teamwork, and problem solving. And it's all happening here in St. John's. Jill Zant is the executive director of MATE, and you're on the line now. Good morning, Jill.
Good morning, Brian. Thank you for having me. We're happy to be back in St. John's hosting the World Championship here at beautiful facilities, welcoming community. Glad to be back.
This is fantastic. And the World Championships are bringing it all here to St. John's. Has this event ever been held here before, just right off the top?
Yes, it has. It was held here back in 2007, again in 2015, and of course we're back again this year. You all have fantastic facilities, world-class facilities where we are able to simulate real-world ocean conditions and challenge our global community of innovators to some pretty interesting tasks with our underwater robot.
So the ROV part, I know. I'm pretty good with acronyms, not a big fan of some of them, but the MATE, MATE, I looked throughout your news release and could not find what MATE stands for. What does MATE stand for?
Well, great question. So MATE is Marine Advanced Technology Education, and we are actually a program that was founded back in 1997 by the U.S. National Science Foundation. So we started out and continue to be a workforce development program, helping students to develop the skills that are needed out there in technical fields focused on the ocean. We joined forces with the Marine Technology Society, which is a professional society, ocean professionals, global, includes engineers, technicians, scientists, academics, students, teachers. We joined forces with them back in 2001 to start this ROV competition, and never imagined that would grow to be worldwide, to be global, with hundreds of teams around the world competing.
It's incredible. So when you say that, where is everybody coming from? Give me the farthest destinations. How far are people coming for this event here in St. John's?
Well, I'll tell you, I came from California, so that was a pretty long flight, but I'm not the furthest distance. We have teams from China, we have teams from Egypt, we have teams from United Arab Emirates, we have teams from American Samoa, we have teams from Europe, all over.
Yeah, and I didn't want to leave. We have another guest along with you, a colleague of yours. It's also part of the of this competition. Joe Singleton, of course, is the head of the Fisheries and Marine Institute School of Ocean Technology and regional coordinator for the MATE competition, the ROV competition here in the province. Joe, how you doing?
Pretty good. It's been a hectic week, but we're getting through it.
Yeah, I don't know if you've been listening to the show, but it could be worse. There's a lot of hecticness going on. Joe, what do you make of this? As Jill just mentioned there, it's not the first time, and our region, our area here is so conducive to a competition like this. It's just amazing that we can open the world to that and not be the first time, and we've become a destination specifically for this kind of groundbreaking work. It's fantastic.
Yeah, we're definitely a destination for that, I'll say that ocean tech kind of environment that's really been fostered in Newfoundland and Labrador, especially over probably since the inception of MATE 20 years ago. And the Marine Institute has been involved, but how do our students get to the World Championships? They qualify. So we do a regional early in May every year. So we get probably around 400 junior high school and high school students here. And it's great to, engage with those students. Not always all about creating the ROV, but the ocean literacy behind the whole competition. So we're talking about invasive species, green crab, discoveries off the coast of Newfoundland. So it's not only the budding engineer or student that wants to become an engineer, but where's that marine biologist or marine environmental student or ocean mapping student that's very excited. ROV is a tool for their what's going to be their trade or their career in the future. So it's great to really reach out and highlight all the career opportunities in the ocean, not just an ROV pilot or an engineer.
You can only imagine for these younger kids, like the high school students, seeing this competition come to their backyard, their shore, their city, their province, with all these people from around the world. It must be inspiring for them just to, take it to the next level and take on that career. And just because, as you just said, just because you're a homer, you don't get in. You still have to qualify. So you might be from here, but there's no, you know what I mean? Like Team Canada might get, because they host the World Cup, they get an automatic, they get in. Now we qualified, of course. But as that example, just because you're from here doesn't mean you're automatically into the competition, correct? You have to get there on your skill.
Exactly. Like I said, that's qualified for the top teams in our qualifier.
Yeah.
But I will say, MATE is great knowing it's a little bit like the World Cup where you get, it's not an easier division, but normally we qualify 3 teams based on the number of our registrants for regionals. But MATE has given us 2 extra spots. So we'll have 8 Canadian teams. We got 5 from our regional event. So I'm just going to Clareville High School. We got Labrador Straits Academy, Holy Heart of Mary, and St. Mark's School out in Kings Cove. That's our ranger teams from the province. And we've also almost become a little bit of a national or international regional as well. We get teams from Ontario, Nova Scotia, PEI, and even St. Pierre this year attend our regionals. So we got a team from Ontario, Trafalgar Castle, competing in Ranger as well. And then on the Explorer and Pioneer side, we have Eastern Edge Robotics. That's the university team. Western Wave Robotics, that's Grenfell on the West Coast, and College in North Atlantic have formed a team. And there was a student from high school years ago, went to University of Ottawa and started a team there, and they've qualified for international. So we have a great Canadian and Newfoundland Labrador representation here at this. So we're going to hope for maybe a podium finish this year. Oh, God, that'd be great. And not unexpected, I would suggest. And I'm also, I'm going to just throw this one at you, because when I saw ROV and the MATE competition and that sort of thing, in this day and age of AI, to what extent has that inserted itself into these competitions? I can answer that one too. Just looking at Jill here. Not so much as AI, but it's if you look at how the program or the competition has matured, a lot of it was manual piloting. So they might have to fly a transect along the bottom of the ocean. So that used to always be done manually. Now they're asking students, especially at the university level, take your hands off the controller and use software, write software, develop software with vision recognition to do it. If you look at the invasive species for green crab this year, they got to look at an image of various species of crab and use, again, vision recognition software to say, hey, there's 8 green crab in this area. So it's...
Yeah, no, it had to come to mind only because in the sense of, if does that give it a leg up? If anybody is utilizing it a little more than others, and the robotics and the remote robotics just seems to scream that sort of thing. It as a competition goes, AI would seem to be quite a wild card into it all.
Yeah, hey, Brian, I'll jump in. This is Jill. I absolutely appreciate what you're saying. And as Joe described, we've really encouraged the use of AI and machine learning when it comes to, just like Joe described, image recognition, hands-off piloting, autonomous piloting. But it is really a challenge, right? Because we have teams have to submit technical documentation. So are they using AI to put that together? So we do address that in our competition manuals, just really encouraging them to use AI not to actually do the work, but to help them over those tough spots. Perhaps they just can't get that sentence right, or they just can't get that program right. So using AI to fill in their knowledge gaps is a good thing, but using it to totally take over and write your whole technical documentation is not encouraged. But, it's a challenge. I'm part of another group, a Robotics Education and Outreach Alliance, that includes other competition programs. And we talk about this all the time, right? How do we address it? How do we deal with it? How do we embrace it? So it's definitely something that's fairly new, and we're still trying to figure out the best way to do it. But in the end, it's really about what skill sets the students are developing and putting to good use. And you hit upon it, Joe did as well. I mean, we are really career-oriented. We have over 100 volunteers, many of them here local, but many of them, Brian, they fly in for this World Championship every year. They make their vacations around it. We have one of a co-founder of this competition coming up for the event, but then he's going to go fly fishing. So he's really motivated to check out the local area and really embrace it all. But we've got a great group of working professionals who come in, and that's where that career exposure, right? If you can't see, you can't be what you can't see, and so we really try to provide that for the students here so they can envision their future and what that might be.
And last thing, I noticed in the news release, the public is encouraged to follow the event, celebrate the next generation of problem solvers and innovators. How can they do that? How can the public follow this as it goes along over the next couple of days?
The best way is come in person to the Marine Institute, our location on Ridge Road, but I'm going to be biased and say we have the best World Championship venue. We do it in our flume tank, which is essentially a giant aquarium, so it's the only venue where you can sit under the water line and see the action real time, inches away from your face. But Thursday from 2:30 to 6 o'clock, they'll be running their mission tasks, and on Friday from 8:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. and that'll be open to the public. It'll be a hot ticket to get in there. And then we have a lot of live streaming on the go as well. So
I think that's via Twitch, is it? Are there other platforms that can be watched just for people who can't get there in person?
Yeah, so if you pretty much Google Mate ROV 2026 World Championships, you'll get to the Twitch stream of the live stream. And that's at all, the live stream does all venues. We're all over, we're down at the NRC Wave Basin, we're in the deep tank at engineering, we're here at the Marine Institute on Sunday, we're out at our Marine base at the launch in Holyrood. They'll be first time in salt water, so good challenge for them there as well.
That's great. Look, I appreciate you both being able to do this at the same time, given the schedule you guys have over the next few days. So Joe Singleton with the Marine Institute, and of course Jill Zant who is the Mate Executive Director with the ROV competition. I appreciate the time today. Good luck with all of this. It's going to be great. If I can tune in, I will. I got a busy old schedule myself. But as you said, if you can go in person or catch it online, it's going to be worth the watch. Thanks so much for your time today.
Thank you, Brian. Appreciate it. And shout out, thank you to the local community, St. John's, the Marine Institute, Memorial University, and the National Research Council Canada's facility, and the launch for having us back. You really all do provide world-class facilities and a warm welcome to our global community. So thanks, Brian.
Awesome. You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you again, both of you.
Thanks.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
take care.
This is the best of VOCM Open Line with Brian Callahan.
Humming along here today. Let's go to line number 2. And Boyd, you're on the air.
Yes, good morning.
Morning, sir. How are you?
Good. Weather's a
Are you
little
sure?
depressing here this morning, just the same, but our situation is just as depressing. So.
Here you go. Okay, so, yeah, I'll put you down as undecided. Go for it.
Yes. Okay, so I'm Boyd Lavers from the West Coast of Newfoundland from Fort Saunders.
Yep.
And I was elected by our fleet roughly a year and a half ago to represent the 4-Air Mobile Gear Fleet.
Mm-hmm.
And right now we're caught in the middle of a situation that's a really bad situation. First of all, I guess I'll explain the fleet. I mean, our fleet was once a mighty fleet of 107 vessels. Right now, we're down to 14 vessels. That's what's left in our fleet, the Mobile Gear Fleet. We got 34 license holders.
What are you fishing mostly? Is this halibut or what are we talking? Or cod on the 2J or?
Yes, the 2J cod.
Okay, go for it.
Everybody's aware that the 2J cod just opened.
Mm-hmm.
And the 4-Air fleet, the Mobile Gear Fleet, and the Fixed Gear Fleet in 4-Air and the West Coast of Newfoundland can actually say that we're the only fleet in the world that holds a 2J cod license and didn't get our access back to that fishery. So the situation we got right here now is anybody that's been paying attention to the Fisherman's broadcast over the last week and a half or so, we got a situation right now where Duane Street is after coming out saying she did support 4-Air and I'm getting access back to 2J cod. We got the fisheries minister, and Duane Street is blaming this on the fisheries minister, Joanne Thompson. And then we got Joanne Thompson's office coming back saying that they take their direction from the FFAW and that this is on Duane Street, basically, I guess, on the FFAW. And we're caught in the middle. We don't know what's going on. I mean, obviously, you know, there got to be someone basically got to be lying. So the situation we got here now is after this announcement came down, I was left quite frustrated and quite angry, and I really felt that our union didn't support us properly. Now, that was my opinion. So I came out on the Newfoundland Fisherman's Forum and done a live video publicly stating my frustrations with our union executives. I clearly stated that that was my own personal opinion, may not be the views of the fleet. And with that, Duane Street came out and done a public post on social media stating that basically the 4-Air fleet was going to find out what it was like not to be represented because they do not represent us now. Now, this I got this. Nobody can deny this. I can send this to you right away.
And specifically, and you feel that was specifically targeted towards repercussions for you doing that video?
Yes, it was, and it was my own personal opinion. I clearly stated that on a number of times.
Sure.
Now, here's the situation we got. This has been going on for years. DFO, we call us DFO. DFO says, call your union. Union says it's not us, it's DFO. Now, this good cop, bad cop been played for years. And the last time that frustration got so high within the fishery, the government had to come out with a dog and pony show to calm people down. Now, I'm going to tell you, this fleet is not looking for another dog and pony show. We want our rights back. We want somebody to come out and give us our rights back so we can go to work, get ourselves and our crews off the EI system, and start contributing back to this country with pride. Now, that is our issue. The other scenario we got now is like, we got nobody to help. The union clearly stated they're not representing us. DFO clearly stated that he takes direction from the union. Nobody is listening. We had to reach out to a personal friend of mine, Jerry Byrne, a former fisheries minister, to represent us on our issues and our unfair treatment in not only the Northern Cod, all issues.
And I've heard him at great length. I caught his interview the other day on the broadcast as well, which I don't know if you know, Craig, I used to host that show for a while, so I'm familiar. And you're right, this is going on for years. So, but sorry, go ahead. Continue.
Yes, so even with Jerry Byrne on our side and advocating for us and giving us direction, DFO still will not talk to us. So the only person I feel that can correct this is Minister Mark Carney. And we would like for Mark Carney to step in here and deal with the harvesters, directly, find out what our issues are, and let's get this dealt with. I mean, we got no representation. We got no voice. We just can't get to DFO. Our union is not speaking on our behalf anymore. Now, I want to clarify. The Inshore Council of the union did support us almost unanimously on all of our issues. He supported us on getting our rights back to the 2J codfish, but it was not submitted to DFO. We were not included in the FFAW's cod proposal. That's what I'm being told. So what's going on here? Can somebody explain this to me?
Or me, because I know adjacencies, like you're not alone. I mean, we know the lab fisheries as well, Labradors. I'm upset at the minute we nearly doubled the quota this year. All hands were out and they were all on deck looking for their share. I mean, it's fascinating. The minute the numbers went up, everybody came to the table, and nobody's getting a fair shake if you ask anybody. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I got a license.
Yeah.
I've been paying for a license for 34 years.
And this is the problem, right? That's what I'm getting from in emails and phone calls. What about my license? Don't I have a right to it?
Well, if you want to drive a tractor trailer, first thing you got to do is you got to go get training. You go get a license to drive a Class 1 license, drive a tractor trailer. You got the same right as somebody that got a license yesterday. You got the same right as somebody that had been driving tractor trailer for 50 years. I got a license. I've been paying for it on the deed for 34 years.
The difference there, of course, is you don't have quotas, and they don't change from year to year on that. Sorry, go ahead. Yep.
Why? Why don't we have quota? Spain got quota. Portugal got quota. My license should be just as valuable. And, time is not on the side of the 4-hour fleet here. I just explained. We went from 107 vessels down to 14 vessels. We can't wait another year.
Or you'll be cut in half again.
Why is DFO not listening to us? And when is Mark Carney going to come and get this dealt with? Because, like I said, a dog and pony show was not going to help us. It was not going to help this fleet.
The amount of hands in it that feel hard done by, and you'll be waiting probably a while if you're expecting the Prime Minister to wade into this, only because, on a high level, that's what the Minister is for, that department, and you take it away from the Prime Minister's office, the PMO, because you assume that department is much more to the ground. That is their portfolio, the fishery. And the fisheries minister is a Newfoundlander and a Labradorian. So the thinking was, okay, we should be in better hands. We've always felt that way. But the truth is the science reigns supreme. The assistant deputy ministers and the scientists in DFO reign supreme. Their numbers, their quotas are the final say, in conjunction with the union, in conjunction with the provincial government. But again, that's their ballywick, right? The federal government controls those quotas, the offshore. We control the inshore, or the processing side of things. The province does. forever and a day, Boyd, you know that this isn't new. As you said, years and years and years. And the depletion of the 4-hour fleet is not a small thing. You're absolutely right. And it's 14 now. Could be half of that next year if it continues with the lack of quota that you did get. I completely agree. Just trying to understand the machinations in DFO and why they do it the way they do it without being a part of the industry is a really tough one.
Well, here's the biggest problem I got. I'm estimating somewhere between $5 and $6 million into the fishery in boats and licenses and quotas. And I'm the only one that don't have a say on how my business operates. Now, we're not asking to go rogue and catch this and catch that and catch whatever. I'm asking to have a say in my business. The FFAW got all the say, gets to talk to the DFO. DFO and the union makes their decisions. I don't get the opportunity to make a decision on my business. That's not right. All we're asking is to be able to deal directly with DFO, explain where we're to, help in the rules and regulations process, and we don't have a say. Yeah, and apparently right now we don't have a representative, and we don't have contact with DFO. So yeah, I don't know where we're going to go from here.
I can totally feel the frustration. The trick here too is, as you said, at least communication. If you could have a one-on-one, because you don't feel you're getting full representation from the union on this part, obviously. Boyd, I'm right past the break. It's a major issue. You're not the only group that feels hard done by. The quota is what it is. It's doubled, but it's still only a quarter of what it would have been back in the early 90s, or even less than that almost. So we're inching our way along and hoping not to go back and fall backwards by allocating too much of it, But yeah, you're right. The offshore, I mean, look, it's a 70-15 split or something, inshore to offshore, inshore 70-15. So they're trying to try to contain the offshore and try to, reduce the amount of dragging that goes on and on and on and on. Boyd, look, I got to get off the break. I appreciate the call. And your frustration is real, and I do sympathize with you.
Okay, thank you very much.
This is the best of VOCM Open Line.
Let's go to Dawn on line 4. You're on the air.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning, Dawn.
I want to bring forward a deeply concerning issue affecting the seniors in Newfoundland and Labrador, specifically those residing in private operated personal care homes that receive public funding and operate outside of rent control protection.
Right.
As you know, Newfoundland and Labrador has the oldest population in Canada. Right now, 1 in 4 people are seniors, yet Newfoundland and Labrador has the weakest protection when it comes to housing and cost protection for those same seniors. So I'm advocating this morning on behalf of my 81-year-old mother, who is a resident of Kingsway living in Paradise, but really I'm advocating for all seniors who have worked hard their whole life. My mom worked her entire life. She has a government pension. Thus, she is not eligible for a government subsidy. I first raised this concern. I was talking to Patty back in late 2023, and really nothing has changed since I talked to him. In late 2023, I'll just kind of give a quick little summary. The residents faced a $457 per month increase in 30 days.
And Don, just quickly, I've seen ones larger than that in the last week. People complaining almost $600 to $700. Right. So sorry, go ahead.
So they faced like $457 in a month. It was a 14% increase in 30 days. I went to the media at that time, senior advocate. What happened, it didn't stop it. It was phased in, but that increase still happened. But since my initial concern, the situation has further escalated and now reflects a very troubling pattern of repeated cost increases within very short periods of time. So, for example, in November of 2025, we were told there was going to be a $223 a month increase. That's 6%. Now, less than 6 months later, another letter is slipped under the door that notified of another increase of $98. another 2.5% per month, coming effective August. So in less than 8 months, $312 per month. Never mind the $500 that happened back in 2024. Mm-hmm. So for seniors living on a fixed income, this is not manageable, it's not predictable, and it's not fair. The financial threshold for assessment has not increased 8.5% in 6 months. My mom, like many other seniors like her who have a pension, whether it's indexed or not, had to absorb these increases. This is no longer a question of a single rent increase. It highlights a systematic absence of safeguards. These operators, they can impose multiple increases in short succession. There's no cap on cumulative increases. They have no protection against compounding financial, and they're left with no meaningful recourse. In any other housing context in Newfoundland and Labrador, increases of this magnitude and frequency would raise significant regulatory concerns. Yet seniors in care environments, the most vulnerable of our society, are afforded less protection, not more. For my mom and many other residents like her, it creates fear and instability. When I got there yesterday, all she could talk about was whether she could afford to stay in a home that she has become her safe haven. She had a stroke, and moving isn't just stressful, it's potentially harmful for her right now. So they force families into repeated financial reassessment and critical planning. But this is a gap.
They should be doing the same assessment of rent, of where it should be, the people who are renting should undergo the same assessments.
But the people who, if they have a pension, they work their whole life, they're just above the income threshold, there's no safeguards. We have created a two-tier system. If you're low income, government protects you. But if you worked your whole life, you have a modest pension, you're on your own. So
that's absolutely correct.
We have created a system where the most vulnerable are protected, as they should. For low income, they should. But seniors who did everything right, they saved for their retirement, they're now falling through the cracks. Just a personal example for my mother, she has 9 grandchildren. She has always recognized their birthdays. It's getting to the point that she can't do that. I personally take care of her cable and other personal effects. When you are supported by government, you are given $100 a month to pay for your funeral costs. People who pay their own way, they will take every cent. They won't even leave you with that $100 that government-supported residents are getting for their final care. And it's just not fair. So I call on Premier Tony Wakeham, the leaders of the opposition, John Hogan, Tim Dinn, plus the senior advocate, Pamela Daw. I think this needs to be addressed, and that there needs to be some safeguards. A system where we allow $4,000 annual increases in short notice increments, it's not sustainable, and it's not fair to seniors who rely on these residents as their homes.
Dawn, that is, look, your concern and your love for your mother and others in this situation is as real and palpable as it gets. I can feel it through the phone. I know that it's a tough call to make, and to just lay it all out there on the line and call on the people. You're absolutely right. You know, there are low-income seniors there who will qualify for different programs, but as you said, your mom did her part. And is not availing of support programs and that sort of thing. But because of that, she's kind of locked into no increases and yet has to deal with these periodic ones by the people that she rents from. It's just, it makes no sense. It's counterintuitive, and you're absolutely right. The seniors advocate and the Premier, well, I mean, that's exactly what they're there for. So I don't know if you've actually had any one-on-one conversations with them.
I actually will be sending a personal letter to each of them today, but I wanted to reach out to you this morning because I wanted to put this out there. I guess my concern is if you are a renter, these facilities, such as Kingsway, so the government has decided to step away, and they only deal with long-term care. They stepped away from this care at level 1, 2, and 2 assisted, and they privatized it. Since it has privatized, these buildings are going up, and they're going up everywhere. As I said, 1 in 4 is a senior. There's profit there.
They're major money makers.
But
yeah.
there is money to be made, and they're making it. This is one of the ways they make it. So if the cost of chicken goes up, well, then your rent is going to go up, and the level of service is not going up. It has remained consistent. So they're not subject to the Residential Tenancy Act of 2018, which exists in Newfoundland, which sets limits on the amount of rent that can be increased, as well as the notification period. I am asking at the very basic that these for-profit homes, care homes, have some level of rent control. So as a family, you're going to say, okay, the most they can increase it is 4% annually, and that there's notification 6-12 months. So maybe you as a family, 30-day notice, like we got that letter today for August 1st. So yesterday was June 23rd. That is less than 6 weeks for you to change somebody who's been there almost 3 years. It's very concerning, and I just think at the very basic that there should be some, and they're giving a lot of funding through government. Like, for example, government says, oh, there are personal care homes. We don't deal with them. However, it is Newfoundland, it's the government who mandates what they are to serve. So their menu has to be reviewed by health services to make sure it's satisfactory. So to say that they're not at arm's length from these personal care homes. I don't believe that.
And Don, look,
capacity.
You know what they say. We are a reflection of how we treat our most vulnerable and the people we care about the most. And in this situation, it is profit-driven. There is no question about that. And again, uprooting and having that fall on the shoulders of the senior who devoted her life to raising a family and being a productive member of Newfoundland and Labrador and the province. It's a sin to put them in that position. And at her age now and all the hard work she's done raising family and finding a place where she's comfortable, now money and everything enters into it as opposed to her care being the number one priority. Donna, I'm sorry, I got to get off to a break. I'm well past it. So look,
no problem. But last thing I'd like to say is that at the very least, I would like that they would consider something like the Tenancy Act for these personal care homes that would set limits on the amount of rent increase and the timing of rent increase. I understand cost of living is going up. We all do. But these ad hocs, whenever willy-nilly, is just not acceptable.
It's a very specific ask, that is, because, sometimes it's very broad and you don't pinpoint right to the government and they say, well, it's a very broad question. That's a very specific ask. And to the Seniors Advocate and the Premier, I 100% will support and forward on whatever information you want and request, and we'll follow up on it. Let's see where they are. I mean, this is just unacceptable, and it's been going on too long, and your concerns are very similar to the multitude of others I get on the same topic. So Don, look, on behalf of your mom, the advocacy that you're doing, you can feel good about that. Let's just see if it falls on deaf ears or people who are willing to listen and make change.
Perfect. Thank you for your time this morning.
This is the best of VOCM Open Line.
Let's go right to line number 3, and Glenn, you're on the air.
Yeah, hi, Brian.
Hi, how's it going?
Glenn Brown here.
Yes, sir.
Mary Township Your Families Alliance.
Go for it, Glenn.
I want to come on and talk.
Go for it.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to come on and talk about interference of causation or interference of cause. Now, it's not a term I'm bringing forward. It's a term derived by the WCIRB in 2024.
The WCIRB being, just for our listeners?
The Independent Review Division.
Okay.
Now, this is based on a 52-page decision, probably one of the largest in the WCIRB database. And what it states is basically there is no need for confirmation by any physician on causation because the data speaks for itself. The 300 deceased workers and the 150 sick and all of the medical, the action, the inaction of government from 1998 to address this issue with the concern, the fundamental problem that it has portrayed, because we have the existence now of a cohort over a period of over 20 years. And it shows the inaction of workplace NL, the government, and these indemnification agreements to protect the corporations above and beyond the rights and of the workers and their health. And this involves the union, the Federation of Labor, anyone that has a stakehold in the protection of workers. Now, what this decision entails is that everything from that point on, the actions or inactions, has created causation. It's a fundamental problem that is derived by all of these situations, because we can now establish by our cohort the fundamentals of this issue. So what we need now is for some law firm to be able to address this, because the cohort exists, and every action by the compensation board throughout this situation is now become evidence of the fundamental problem. The health care, the treatment of these people, the subrogation of claims, the inaction to inflict the presumption of the cohort, the inaction to implement intake clinic that was requested over the years, and all the expert opinion and advice that was provided to the compensation board and government has all been ignored. And now we're to the point where we have 300 deceased workers and we have 150 sick workers, and the compensation board is still protecting this on a one-on-one basis. It should not be, it should never be a one-on-one claim to prove causation. It's a cluster of disease, a well-documented, well-identified cluster. Now we knew when we asked for, through a TIPA, a compilation of the disease, illness, and that they shut down and they refused the application right away, because it's the evidence that this has occurred through the protection of an indemnification agreement to protect corporations over and above the rights and the health of workers. And every stakeholder here had known, they were informed, and everyone had the opportunity to step in, but no one did. It's only because the tenacity, the perseverance of this one group of workers, this one individual, I'm going to name Bernadine Bennett, that has persevered through this with degradation, berated, attacks, everything to defame her actions, to put forward the rights of these workers, has been met with all this. And we need a lawyer right now. And we've been talking to a Newfoundland lawyer, and we've been also talking to a Ontario lawyer.
And this is the Marystown Shipyard Families Alliance Incorporated. I just want to remind, I didn't want to, and I didn't want to interrupt you at all because, obviously you got 7 minutes there, so that's pretty good. Look, if you don't mind me interrupting just for a second, Glenn, because we're right at 12 o'clock. And let me just say, you mentioned Bernadine. I just want to remind you and Bernadine that if I get any more nasty emails claiming that I'm disrespectful, unfairly treating people, cutting them off, not giving them their due time, your battle is not with me in Open Line. I understand the frustration with government and, the health concerns with the Marystown Shipyard and the battle you've been through. But, disrespecting us and me personally for no reason, just because you don't think you're getting on the air when you should be, is not going to work. So, look, I'm just being fair back at you, and this is tempered. Trust me, compared to some of the emails I'm getting, even while I was talking to you and while you're on hold, to get some of the mean emails coming from Bernadine. And I'm going to tell it, put it out there. It doesn't work here. So I do my best to get everybody on the air and give everybody their fair treatment. You'll see that as you go along if you give me a chance. And referencing what was done in the past isn't going to get you anywhere either. I'm more than willing. I got you on the air, even though there was another caller waiting, if you want to know that much. So in the future, if you could please temper the emails and pass this on to Bernadine as well. I'm sure she's listening. But I'm not going to repeat some of the things that she said in her email because it's mean. And it's not fair. I've never done anything to you or her. So, really, stop for a moment and think about the communication, and then things will get a lot better between all of us, okay? And I'm over the lunchtime hour. I've even gone over for that.
We were available to do an interview with Brian Medore, but he flat out refused and hung up on us.
You know what, Glenn? Again, by referencing that, you don't reference it. Okay, so by referencing that, you don't even reference both sides of the... Look, I'm telling you again, I'm talking about this show and our conversations and the correspondence that I receive. It's not going to work. The meanness and that sort of thing is not going to be a part of this show. So if you can politely ask for airtime on an issue, that's no problem. But making all kinds of accusatory, and all kinds of reasons that we're not letting you on here is just ridiculous. So I'm not going to stand for it. But look, I appreciate your call today, and I gave you lots of time. We'll give you more time in the future if it can just be copacetic and polite and kind. Okie doke.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Good luck with your cause. Thank you. All righty, there you go. A little bit over the hour there, Sarah Strickland in the cockpit. I apologize for that, but that sometimes has to be said. It's not the way it's going to work. So anyway, I am not going to miss the opportunity to say congratulations to my daughter, Amy, who's graduating in an hour and a half, and I'm on my way there. Drive safely, arrive alive, everyone. VOCM cares.